Tim, should we tell the listeners how to join the Golf Week Amateur Tour?
Yes, of course. We should probably do it now before we forget, though.
I agree. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.
And remember, this podcast can be found on all the major platforms. So make sure you like, download, and share it with all your friends and family.
Chris, that's a great idea. Now, on to the show. Chris, welcome back. It's the first edition of the May podcast, the Military Appreciation Month. To me, it's one of the best months of the year. How's things been going?
Been going good. This is one of my favorite couple episodes we get to do. We get to talk with our military members. So excited to get it going.
Yeah, with this episode, we're going to talk about another Memorial Day regional out of PGA West. We've got a 28-year Army veteran going to tell us a few stories, and we have the March shirt winner. So stick with us and hear all the good information. Ready to get started?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Golf Week Amateur Tour, the podcast. Talking about all things Golf Week Amateur Tour, including interviews with tour directors, players, and course pros. Now, here are your hosts, Atlanta Tour Director Tim Newman and El Paso Las Cruces Director Chris Rocha.
All right, Chris, welcome back.
It's great to be back. Was able to have an event in between these. Didn't do so well, but had a good time. Got to see all the members and already looking forward. We're a month away from our U.S. tour. I hope everybody's got their tickets and they're ready to see us.
It's right around the corner. I'm looking forward to it. And I heard a little story, and maybe we'll talk about it near the end of the show about a little golf cart tap.
Oh, here we go.
So we'll talk about that later. But anyway, let's get to the good stuff first. Gino O'Neill from the Louisiana North Tour sent us both a picture earlier last week. It had a picture of that good bread pudding. What do you think?
I am excited to go to Louisiana. I've never been. I like decent spicy food. I like seafood, but I'm going in with an open mind, and I'm gonna go in and try Louisiana style food. She says it's like home cooking, and that nothing's better than anything that's home cooked. But I will be honest, the picture kind of threw me for a loop. So we'll see. I'm gonna try everything. I know my wife she really enjoys food, so she'll be able to try Louisiana together, and if I make it to the second round tee time, that'll determine whether it's going to be clear sailings or a diaper. We'll figure it out.
Clear sailing or clear sailing.
Yeah.
Well, I really think you're going to love it. Bread pudding actually, it really is kind of an acquired taste. It's got a little funny texture to it, but it's so good. You put some vanilla ice cream with it. Oh my goodness, but
I like.
Really good.
So it reminded me, and I'm looking for the picture right now. But it reminded me of pecan pie.
Yeah, was this?
And I really like that. Like, I really love going to a restaurant. They have some good cobbler or a good pie like that. So, I am open for it. Maybe it's the metal spoon that makes me think, elementary school cafeteria. And that might have been like, nah, not really. But like I said, we're going to go with an open mind. I'll have some ice cream on and give me a cup of Joe, and I'll let you know the verdict at the live show. Maybe I'll try it for the first time on the live show. How about that?
That'd be fine too. But just understand, if that's sitting in front of me for the live show, it's going to be your show. You understand that?
No, that's why I'm going to have it for the live show. You got to save yours for afterward, after we pack up the big ass box, because I won't know if I get that thing complete.
We're just starting to show off now, and we're talking about all this food. So that means I got a while before I can get some for that sweet tooth I've got. Anyhow, we got a really good show this week. We've got a 28-year Army veteran who's going to tell some stories. We've got the March shirt winner. Glad he could make it. He's on a little vacation, so it'll be a short talk with him, but glad he could make it on. But our first guest, the California Tour Director, they're doing a regional out of PGA West, and he's gonna talk to us about that. And if you've never been out to PGA West, this would be a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, it looks like a great course. I've had players go out there and play, and they've have such a great time out there. And the California Tour, he just does it right. If you want to feel special and see a million flags out there, a huge table and for check-in and things like that, go to a California event, because I don't think I've seen anybody put as much flags up as he does for his.
Yeah, Don works his tail off. I mean, he covers the whole state of California with the tour, and so that means if you've never actually driven in California, you're driving. You're either sitting in traffic or it's hours to your next destination, and he's covering the whole state. So he does a phenomenal job out there.
Yeah, I think one of the podcasts that we did while back with Dennis, I was in LA traffic while we were doing the interview, and I think we did the whole segment with him, which was maybe 45 minutes, and I moved maybe half a mile. So if you're going through traffic in California, good luck.
Exactly. To me that's a pretty good reason not to live in California, but that's for another PGA West, that's for sure. That's for completely different. You're right. So let's go ahead and welcome in the California Tour Director, Don Risner. Don, welcome to the show, bud.
Just out here getting prepared for our upcoming regional at PGA West. This year we're going to be playing La Quinta Mountain and the Nicholas Tournament course at PGA West.
That's awesome. Is this the fourth year you've been doing that?
Yeah, this is my fourth year coming on 2024. I started back in 2022 and came over from, playing some tournament golf around some different leagues, and then joined the Golf Week family in 2019. And then 2020, I took over as director.
Yeah, but this regional is 4 years old, right? It's the fourth year you're doing this.
Correct. Yeah, it'll be my fourth year on this. Every year we switch it around a little bit. Sometimes we like to do the stadium course, but unfortunately it won't be available this year due to renovations. But they just redid the La Quinta Mountain course, which is an extremely tough challenge, and it's always a player favorite. So we're going to trade stadium for the mountain on Saturday and then finish off on the Nicholas Tournament course on Sunday.
Yeah, but the reality is all those courses out there, you can't go wrong playing any of them. I mean, they're all top-notch courses.
Oh, no, they're fantastic. Yeah, they're fantastic. In fact, on Friday, what we do is we have a one-day tournament. Instead of a skins game, we generally have a one-day tournament. So players coming out of town, it kind of makes it worth their while for the trip. They can pick up some extra points if they need them. And we generally play that right over by the airport at the Boulder course at Cimarron Resort, which is a wide-open link-style course, but it's extremely tough. It's susceptible to the elements and has usually the best greens in the Coachella Valley. So I like to get guys out there, kind of get them warmed up for the desert golf before we torture them with the other two.
I guess that's smart. I don't know. So, I have not played that course that you're talking about, but those courses at PGA West are phenomenal.
They're all a little bit different. The La Quinta Mountain, for those who haven't played it, it's a Pete Dye diabolical challenge up against these rocky high hills. And some of the shots you have to hit directly over the rocks to a green. It's tucked up, it twists, it bends. It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, I remember Stephanie telling me about how difficult the courses were last year when she won. And I believe she's going back again this year. So hopefully we get some El Paso love out there.
Yeah, I hope so. Last year she won the tournament and got the apparel sponsorship prize along with the other things we have. I try to do a unique tournament as well as just different things for the players. I usually design a towel each year, and then I try to get them some kind of unique trophy to go along with that. I just feel, if they're going to make the trip to come out to see us, then I got to give them something good to take home. I just got the artwork approved on my towel, so I'm going to send that to you.
Yeah, if you send that, we'll put a picture of that up in the show notes. And I'm just looking at your player list right now. You still have a few spots open, so if anybody's listening, I'd hurry up and get on this. But you've got players coming from really all over the country. A few guys from Atlanta. We've got Denver, Minneapolis, Arizona, Louisiana, DC, Jersey, Arizona, Michigan,
Milwaukee. If you actually look down, we've got around 53 paid, but I believe we have more on the waiting list than we have spots right now. So if you look down at the unpaid, there's another dozen tours down there on the bottom of that list.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 25 of the 47. That's really pretty good.
And then along with the tournament this year, something new is the V Foundation, which is part of our Dunlop Sports Group and Shrixon sponsorship. They have sent us some items to raffle off in the giveaway. One of them being a Master Steve staff bag with matching head covers and a towel. Also in the drawing, we're going to be raffling off 6 dozen Z-Star XVs, and then some items from a couple other of our local sponsors, like a rangefinder, some shirts, and then I'll throw in some Golf Week items and some other things just to make it interesting. But the Masters bag is truly beautiful. I just emailed both of you a picture, and that's going to be something people are going to want to buy tickets for.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Now, this raffle that you're doing, can players, get in on this even if they're not in a tournament?
They can. Yeah, anybody can donate to it. So it's going to be, like I said, it's part of the Dunlop V Foundation, and we'll be selling tickets. I'll offer them online as well. And I'm just hammering out all the details with Jennifer right now, but we will be doing that and then holding the raffle on Sunday. I'm trying to get prizes from as many sponsors as possible, to be able to spread the wealth a little bit. But like I said, the grand prize will be from Shrixon, and people are going to truly treasure that. Whether they play Shrixon clubs or not, the bag is truly beautiful. I think we're the first tour to actually receive that item.
Well, that's Chris. I tell you what, I actually saw some of those bags, being carried around at the Heritage, and they're beautiful bags. Winning that bag is a prize in and of itself. I just tell you that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, even if you don't use it, just having it in your man cave or wherever, just storing putters or things like that. Just be able to show it off is something that is unique in itself. So, I mean, I may have to buy some tickets from El Paso just to have a chance to win some.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
Absolutely. So this is my 4th year doing the tour. Like I said, before I came over the Golf Week family, I was an avid golfer. Had a little bit of a setback. I was diagnosed with cancer, so I was fighting that, still am fighting it. But to date, I've played over 350 competitive tournaments with over 251 wins. So I got a good streak going, but I'm going to keep playing as long as I can and hopefully get a few more under my belt.
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Shrixon.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Shrixon.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Chris, you got some work to do to catch up with Don here.
Don, I think we need to get you to move up, sir. If you keep winning tournaments like that.
Yeah. Well, I've only won 12 on Golf Week. That was 10 regular tournaments, the Senior Regional in Las Vegas and the Torrey Pines Major. And the other 238 wins came in a similar flight, but on a different tour that no longer exists.
Okay.
But the key to that was on that tour, they don't have a maximum score, and people don't really understand competitive golf where they're firing at the pins, landing in the water, careening off, going out of bounds, everything, where you have to really, on any tour, you've got to really focus on what you're doing, try to minimize your mistakes, keep the big numbers down, and, just do the best you can do on every single shot.
Right.
That's the key to, getting as many trophies as you can.
Exactly. And if you've listened to, some of the champ golfers that we've had on, they talk about playing smart, choosing whatever club you need to hit your target, and just trying to be smart as opposed to, like you said, trying to hit pins and all these other things. Keep the ball in play, keep it where you can see it, and you're going to be just fine. Let's talk a little bit more about these individual courses. You've got the Pete Dye Mountain Course on Saturday. What can the players expect from that setup?
Well, that one, you're going to expect some rollout in the fairways and some smaller greens that will hold the ball, but you've got to be a little more precise on your approach. You've got to put it, where you want to, reasonably within a couple of feet to have a chance to get birdie or par on those. They are courses that will reward you for being aggressive, but they can also punish you. So that's where you're going to kind of make it or break it on Saturday. Now, Sunday, when we roll over to the PGA West Nicklaus tournament, that course tends to be a little bit more forgiving, but that's the original course where they used to hold the skins game, back with Nicklaus and Trevino and everyone. And that one, it can be a little more punishing with the mounding. And there's some fairways where you'll run out of room with a steep drop off. So that one is more of a target course. If you study Jack Nicklaus or his club design, you'll note that a lot of those tournament courses, they're designed for players hitting a high, soft, long iron coming into those par fours and par fives. Because I think that's the way that he played golf. So that's the way a lot of those courses are designed.
Yeah, if you're designing the course, you're going to design it so that it's going to fit your game.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know there's a par five there that, I know the smart way to play it. And you go down the right side in 2, and you come across with about 120-yard shot for your third shot onto that island green. But man, if you get the wrong angle on that, you cannot hold that green to save your life.
Well, it'll be interesting on Sunday then, that's for sure.
It will be. I'll be keeping a close eye on the field and shooting some video out there, getting you guys a little bit of material so you can talk about it. Yeah, definitely the tournament course, the Nicklaus tournament course, is going to be an experience. People that haven't been there before, it is located at the PGA West facility, which is the West Coast home of golf. So they've got kind of like a shrine in there to all the golfers that have played. They've got the bags of the pros. Ernie Els has a great restaurant in there. They have a great pro shop. It's just really a first-class setup. And we've been playing there every single year since I've been director, and we have a good relationship with them, and we're invited back every year. So we look forward to returning there in 2025. Typically around Masters weekend, we have a 2-day tournament at the stadium and the Nicklaus, but this year it was not available, so we're going to roll that back 1 year.
Well, it sounds, Tim, like we have some thinking we have to do next year for our trips.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is one that we need to get to, for any number of reasons. I know, we talked about the weather a lot. The weather out there at this time of year, it's going to be beautiful. The courses are going to be in great shape, and I don't know that you can really find a much better place to spend Memorial Day weekend.
No, it's actually a great tournament because it's just a couple weeks after Coachella, so the room prices, have come down to the normal rates, and basically you step out of your room and throw a rock in any direction, you're going to hit a golf course or a hotel down there, so you can't go wrong. And now that the Palm Springs Airport is taking in Southwest and some other airlines, you can fly directly into that airport, or you can land at Ontario, which is about an hour away. So it's pretty convenient for people traveling from across the United States.
Is Southwest in the Palm Springs, you said it's relatively new?
Yeah, they just added the flights. I believe last year they started flying in there. So, of course, Southwest, you can fly with your golf bag for free. So that's always a favorite among the tour players.
That's all I do is fly Southwest.
And another good reason to have it in Palm Springs is we have Indian casinos out there. So it gives people another reason to come out and play.
Here we go. Here we go with the casinos, Chris. Come on now.
I know. He knows how to win us in for next year.
Yeah, Palm Springs has come a long way.
Yeah, it really has. Now it's been a few years since I've been out there, but I love it there. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's probably been 10 years since I've been out there, but it's beautiful. Pretty much, it's hard to find a not nice course out there. Almost every course out there is beautiful, great condition, and Don, you got two of the best.
Yeah, there. Like I said, it's art. We only go out there a couple times a year. I wish I could go out there more because there's just so many great venues out there. It's tough for me to choose. This year, we are having a major in July, and we're going to actually play the Desert Willow Resort. Normally, we don't go out to Palm Springs that time of year, but they gave us a great rate. It's early in the morning, and it's one of my favorite golf courses.
Yeah, I'm actually, I've got your California schedule up, and I was going to ask you about that course in particular. How did you end up getting that course?
Well, originally we were going to go to San Diego, and I was trying to get Torrey Pines and Balboa Park. And, we've had a couple of tournaments at Torrey Pines before, and, it's a little tough to get. It's a little pricey, but they're having, I believe, the Junior World Hams that weekend. So with the price of hotels and the limited availability of the courses in San Diego, we decided to go to Palm Springs. It's going to be a little bit warmer out there, but the conditions will just be phenomenal.
They really will. Looking at your regular California schedule, what other courses that you have on there are ones that, especially guys that travel, really need to get on?
Well, we have a great one. It's one of the toughest courses in California to book. It's called Los Verdes. We'll be playing a 2-day major there in August, and also a 2-day senior major there in September. Now, this course is located, maybe 20 minutes south of LAX, and it's up on the cliffs of Palos Verdes with an unlimited 360-degree view of the Pacific Ocean and Catalina Island. It's basically impossible to get a tee time there because it is a public course. But fortunately, with the Golf Week reputation and, knowing some of the people there, we were able to secure that for a summer major. I believe the price on that one is only $325 with a 10:30 start time on both days. And that is something else. We played there earlier in the year, and it's in great shape for a muni. And like I said, you can pretty much see unlimited ocean views while you're playing. In California, at that price, it's hard to beat.
It's going to be beautiful out there, too.
I know I heard on the last interview, Chris was talking about his quest to play all 50 states. That's always been one of my goals. I believe I'm at 29 states right now, but I've still got some to go.
Where are you at, Chris?
I haven't done the math yet, but I'll eventually start doing it. I'm trying to get I found this like American flag that's made out of wood, and where the stars would go would be a golf ball. I want to put a golf ball from each state that I've played in. Haven't really counted yet. I'll have to do a count and get back with you on that.
Yeah, you're going to knock 2 off for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. And maybe 3, depending on where we flying to for nationals.
Yeah. And 4 if we can get you to Indiana on Sunday.
I know what you're talking about there.
We'll talk about it,
We'll
right?
see what we can do.
We'll talk about it.
Right. All right, Don. So it sounds like your tournament's going to be a great success. We can't wait to see who wins. I hope Stephanie, is able to pull it off again, but we'll find that out as the tournament goes on. But I hope you're excited for what's to come.
I am. We're going to bring our traveling circus to town. We'll have tents and flags and a lot of that place lit up like the 4th of July. So look forward to seeing Stephanie and her parents again. She's a great competitor, and they're just the nicest people. So we look forward to having them out there, and I wish her the best of luck. She did very well last year, and I believe she won in a playoff. So I'll see if she can pull the same feat this year.
Yeah, I believe she's working on her long drive to be a long drive competitor. So that could be scary coming up.
Oh, if she starts hitting the ball any longer, everybody's in trouble. I may have to reconfigure her tee box if she's going to start flying 100 yards past.
I'd like to see females hitting the ball a little bit further. But anyway, Don, thanks so much for taking some time with us tonight. I really do appreciate it. It's good talking to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Take care. Well, Chris, it's good to finally get Don on. We had some technical difficulties, a couple weeks ago, and he was supposed to be on a previous episode, and then we got him on this episode. We had a couple issues, but it's good to talk to him and see what's going on out on the West Coast. A lot of times, we think everything stops at Texas, but
right.
Don's got a lot going on out in California.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken over the whole state. And for those guys who have states, they're not as big as Texas or California. So it's definitely one of those big jobs he has. But that regional he's got, you can tell in the excitement he has for the gifts he's going to raffle off. And hopefully we can get a part of that.
Yeah, let's hope so. And the major out of PGA West, for those listening, we talk a lot about how good these courses are. I can't stress enough how good those courses are out PGA West. I played them all. They're beautiful. They're great courses, and it's going to be a great event. And Chris, maybe that is one that we seriously look at putting on our schedule for next year.
Yeah, people are already bidding for where we're going to be, which is awesome to hear and see, because everybody wants us everywhere. So it might be on top of the list. We'll see what happens. Let's wrap up these trips first, and then we'll talk about next year.
And then we'll talk about the rest. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. So we mentioned earlier that it's Military Appreciation Month, and we're really going to make sure that we're highlighting our military members and tour directors, and really thank them for their service. And so our first military guest of the month, we're going to stay out in the California area. So let's welcome Bartel Drake from the California tour. Bartel, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yes, Tim. Thank you for having me.
27 years in U.S. Army.
Yes. Altogether, it was a total of 28 years. And but
27
years. Yes. So it was 27 years actually spent in uniform, and various duty stations between Germany, Korea, the United States, Japan. Did some work in Thailand, the Philippines, Australia.
Oh, wow.
So I really had a marvelous time in the military.
Being able to do all that traveling is phenomenal. I was in the military. I only served 3 years, but I went to Fort Bragg. That's where I got to go. And so it's great to hear people like you that really got to see the world. I've been to Thailand, but that was was something different. I'd love to go to the Philippines. But for you to be able to do that for a career, that had to have been some really good experiences for you.
Yes, Tim. What it did, it gave me, it allowed me to open up my mind and to have learn to respect other people's cultures and their viewpoints, and not just look at it from a narrow lens from where I grew up in the Deep South. So having the opportunity to travel worldwide, to meet people from different backgrounds, different educational levels, it just only enhanced me as a person, at the time as a military officer. But what it did, it taught me a lifelong lesson to listen to other people's opinions, respect their opinions, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. But everybody has the right to have their opinion. And so I really enjoyed that aspect about the military and meeting different people along my military journey.
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
How nice would the world be if we all had that mindset? Just listen. You may learn something. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but you may learn something. And just that mutual respect of having an opinion and being able to justify it, and then be able to shake hands and walk away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I learn from everybody. It doesn't matter whether I agree with you or disagree with you. I'm going to learn something from you.
Right. So you grew up in Alabama, right?
Yes, in Huntsville.
Huntsville, Alabama. And you enlisted and through the delayed entry program, which for those that don't know, that's a really good program to get people who may not necessarily know what they want to do, right? They can sign up, finish high school, and then, after they graduate, go into the military at some career, depending on where you score, but you have a career set up for you, even though you may not be sure what it's going to be yet.
Absolutely, because I did the delayed entry program a year before I actually graduated, and I actually was going to play college football, and I had a terrible injury my senior year. I mean, which required me to have plastic surgery because I cracked my orbit and my nose was just crushed. And it derailed my plans of going to play college football, but the backup plan was to go to the military. And I went in, I got stationed down in Hunt Army Airfield, which is just not terribly far from Alabama, down in Savannah, Georgia. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I was really fortunate to have that backup plan in place at the age of 18. I graduated. 1 week later, I was in basic training. No summer, awesome. I was in basic training.
Where did you do basic training at?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Okay. So it could have been worse. It could have been Columbus, Georgia, or it could have been, Fort Stewart. There's places. But in the summer, for those of you who don't understand, that would not be the places you want to be for basic training.
Absolutely. I went to airborne school down at Fort Benning during the summertime. But it was quite a hairy experience.
See, my airborne training was in March. March. So it wasn't too bad.
And you had the good weather.
Yeah. But I also did my basic training at Fort Benning in Columbus.
Oh, geez.
And so what people don't, you would understand this. So back then, we didn't have all the niceties that we have now. We had old barracks, and it was wintertime, and so they made us keep our windows open in the wintertime.
Absolutely. And, the military has changed so much. I'm going to say it's changed from when we went in, and because when I first joined and when I first went out to do it in 1979, my drill sergeants were from Vietnam. So, yes, I have the utmost respect for those Vietnam veterans because they shared what they went through in Vietnam. And I was really trained by Vietnam veterans when I first joined the military. So I think that had a great impact on me throughout my entire career with my first interaction with those drill sergeants that was in Vietnam.
Right. Yeah, and I guess I think back to my time as well. My drill sergeant was not a Vietnam veteran, but I remember him telling us that their job is to prepare us to be able to do that, and they're not doing their job if they're taking it easy on us. If they're not training us to do the things that, and I was in infantry, what an infantry soldier is supposed to do.
Absolutely, because throughout my military career, I've been in operations that I was really fortunate to have had the correct training. Because if I didn't have the correct training, the outcome would have been totally different. And it stemmed all the way back from my basic training days. Even jumping on airplanes in the middle of the night, when your life depends on how well you are trained. But it goes all the way back to my first indoctrination in basic training and the way those drill sergeants just made sure that we were properly trained.
Right. It's so important. So important. So what were some of the jobs that you did, throughout your career?
Sure. I was in...
now only the ones you can talk about. I don't want you...
Okay, I talk about it at a very high level. Sure, I talk at a very high level. I was an M1A1 tanker. I was airborne. I was M1A1 tanker, which I enjoyed that job because I had to pick my tank crew. Believe it or not, they're all from the South in Georgia. But anyway, so I was an M1A1 tanker. I worked in a synthetic theater war director developing software, but I can't tell what that software was for because it's just the nature of what it was. Another interesting job I had was when I was in special operations. I was a special ops guy. I wasn't a Green Beret, but I was in special operations in South Korea, which was a very interesting job in special operations. I was the one of the strategic planners for the Kosovo War.
Oh, wow.
Which I did the strategic planning. I was one of the strategic planners for that way. And I helped write the doctrine in Germany to fight a war in Germany. My time as I progressed, and my experience became more in terms of the political side of the military. Less hands-on. But as a company commander, I remember as a company commander, I had about 300 soldiers in my company, and it was probably the most rewarding job that I had in the military was a company commander because I had a direct influence on those young soldiers' lives.
Yeah, I was
as a
asking
commander.
what your favorite duty station, what your favorite duty station was, and then what you were doing at that point. I can see that.
Oh, my favorite duty station. Oh, jeez. How many can I give you? I'll give you my top two. Probably Japan was probably my favorite. Japan. And I was a strategist in Japan. And then Germany. And I was an M1A1 tanker in Europe. So I really enjoyed my overseas time. I spent the vast majority of my time in the military overseas because I wanted to experience other cultures. I didn't live on base. I tend to stay, with the locals. So Germany and Japan are my two favorite places. And I know I did TDY like Australia, Saipan, Guam, and Tinian. I'm into some really nice locations, but Germany and Japan are probably my two favorite places.
So through all of this, when did, because we are a golf podcast, when did golf become part of your everyday routine or your life through all of these travelings that you were doing?
Oh, wow. I love it. In 1991, my wife bought me a set of starter clubs from Kmart, and she said I would never stick with the game. And my daughter,
be careful what you wish for. I have to be careful what you wish for.
And I started golfing in 1991 at Fort McClellan, Alabama, and I just instantly fell in love with the game. One of my soldiers took me out. I would never forget this guy. One of my soldiers took me out. Hey, sir, let's go play golf. I never played golf in my life. I instantly fell in love with the game of golf in 1991. And the unique thing about it, Chris, every place that I traveled, I took my golf gloves. I have played golf in Brazil. I played golf in Thailand, the Philippines, Guam. Every place that I traveled, I have managed to get my golf gloves in my military gear. So I actually started playing golf as a company commander in 1991.
Any courses that you want to say is just top notch, probably your favorite ones that you've been to?
Believe it or not, I was actually in Saipan. There's a course called King's Fisher. It was on Saipan. It was just a beautiful course in the South Pacific. And then Guam, I was on Guam, and Guam's municipal course was just gorgeous. You could just see nothing but blue ocean on both sides of the golf course. So my favorite courses was King's Fisher in Saipan, and then golfing on Guam, the small island of Guam. And it just, because they were all tropic golf courses. Right. And I golfed in Alaska. The Anchorage Country Club had a beautiful golf course as well. So those were probably my top three, Saipan, the Anchorage Country Club, and golfing on Guam.
One of my members just got restationed to Guam, and he sent me pictures of some golf course. I don't know which one it is, but I mean, just the views itself are just amazing from a picture standpoint. So I can imagine just playing out there.
Yes, it was probably Leo Palace, or I think it's called Telefofo. I think it was named the course. But Leo Palace and Telefofo, I think, two really nice golf courses on Guam when I was there.
Being able to travel and take your clubs and play golf in all these places, a lot of people don't understand the life of somebody in the military. It's rare that you can do all these things and have that time off to be able to go and see these great locations, because when you're overseas, your duty station and your job sometimes doesn't allow for any of that stuff. My brother was stationed in Korea for a while, and he said there was no time for that. You're there for a year, and you pretty much work 7 days a week for a year.
That's correct. And what I used to do in Japan, I would get up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. As soon as the sun would start to come, I would go to the golf course. And I would be on a golf course at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning playing golf. And it would be like 8 or 9 holes, but my job took precedence over golf, but I was playing golf. I played in the winter. I played when it was snowing outside. I played golf.
Yeah, that's those were the days.
Look, Chris, back then also.
Bartow, just so you understand, for Chris, he only plays when it's between 70 and 80 degrees sunshine. If it's raining, he doesn't play. If it's windy, he doesn't play.
No, I don't mind the wind. I get confused. So I live in El Paso, Texas. We don't know what rain is. So when things start falling from the sky, we get a little confused on what's going on.
I've been down in El Paso. I've been in the desert in El Paso. It was 120 degrees, and a golf club was the furthest thing from my mind at 120 degrees.
Yep. But so that's the running joke now is if it starts raining, sprinkling, even mist, I don't know what to do.
Chris, I can deal with the rain, but the wind affects me more than the rain.
I kind of like wind. We had tough winds at my last event, and I kind of like the challenge of having to figure out how to shape a shot in the wind. So it doesn't affect me as much, but I mean, obviously every golfer would love to have pristine weather conditions along with a good course.
Chris, you generally play in the wind there. I mean, it's
correct.
It's more windy there than not, right?
Right. We get more wind than we do rain, snow, anything wet.
Yeah, we get wind here in Southern California as well, but it is sometimes the wind is so strong we just can't play in it.
Right. No, let's say so out of all of this, so you travel the world, thank you for your service in the military. What brought you to joining or finding out about the Golf Week Tour over there in California?
Well, my best friends here, he's my golfing buddy, a guy by the name of Julian. He and I golf together, I think 4 or 5 times a week.
Wow.
And he brought me to the tour. Julian did, and he's my best friend here and golfing wise. And he actually brought me to the tour. And so I owe my thanks to that one guy for bringing me to the tour. And he's very competitive, so he's a much better golfer than I am, but he pushed me to be a better golfer. And it's that spirit of competition, the reason I like golfing with him. And so, but the guy by the name of Julian actually brought me to the tour, and we pass our flyers once we get to the golf course to try to promote the tour.
So what plays Julian in?
He's an A flight.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at your scores. Your last tournament, you got to win.
Barely, but I know. And I think I get Don a lot. So Don pushes me as well. So Don may have a lot of fights throughout the course. But I think we're all competitive in a good way because we all want to see each other do well at our tour. So we root for each other, but we want to beat each other as well. But we're really good friends off the tour as well. I got sick maybe I think 3 years ago, and those guys from the tour literally checked on me nearly every day when I was ill. When you coming back, Lee coming back. And I was with Julia when I actually got sick, and but they checked on me almost every single day and see how I was doing.
That's really what tour's about. I kind of do the same thing. If we got some golfers, who may be injured. I say, you don't have to play, but at least just come out. We'll ride around the cart together, hang out and have a drink or two or whatever. At least get you around the guys, because we miss not seeing you.
And like I said, we're really good friends. Also, too, Don, he's a really personable person. He has a great sense of humor, and I really enjoy these guys because I'm not from California, so I have very limited friends here. So, and my friends are actually on this tour.
So, how long have you been in California?
When I retired from 2006. Okay. It's a big difference in Alabama and California. So, I kind of stay in my corner in California. It's pretty big here. So, and since I retired as well, and I retired twice, and so now I don't have to go to work anymore. So I just made it just golf.
Well, it's well deserved.
And I can't wait to get to that point. But yeah. So, when's your next tournament?
We have Angeles National coming up. I think it's at the end of the month. I don't know. I know the course, but I don't know the date. And it's a really good golf course on the other side of Pasadena. It's Angeles National. I paid for, but I don't know the date. I'm sorry. But then we have the Masters that's coming out at Palm Springs.
Right.
We have
Right.
Cimarron first, then PGA.
The regional, yeah.
Yeah, the
and
regional.
I see you registered for that, and you won. Which regional did you win a couple years ago? You won the
They're regional
PGA
right
West,
there.
right?
Yeah. I try to do it again, but these guys are coming out to me.
Tell them to take a back seat. Tell them they need to relax. And you got this.
Tim is a great. These guys are so competitive. We literally push each other out there. In fact, when I just won the last tournament, we actually went to a playoff and only won by a simple putt. And I lost to Don on one putt now because I missed a putt. He won a tournament. That's how close we are in terms of golfing by a single putt.
But that's one of the things that makes the tour great, right? Because it's not cutthroat. Everybody's pushing each other to get better. It's friendly, and sometimes it comes down to that one putt, and the elation that you feel when you win on that one putt. It can't be described.
Absolutely. I remember I got my first victory, but I was so glad to get my first victory on tour. It was like the biggest relief ever to get my first victory. And it was a couple of years ago, but to win a tournament out here is extremely difficult because these guys are really, really good golfers. In every flight, they are really good golfers.
Well, I'll take that challenge. Like we talked about earlier, Tim, that might be one of those that we revisit next year. But I was looking at the roster as well. Luckily, none of my players are going out for the C flight, so you're in good hands at that point. Stephanie's in B flight now, so she's got bigger fish to fry.
Oh, I think I know her.
Yeah, she won C flight last year.
Yeah, I know her. Very
I finally
nice
convinced
parents.
her to. Right, her parents are amazing, and I finally convinced her to move up, and now she's playing with the big boys and getting better every day.
Oh, she's in a B flight now?
Yep, she's in the B flight, and she's training for a long drive competition, so she hits that ball pretty far.
Yeah, no. I'm glad she's in the B flight. I'm
not.
a very humble
I'm
man.
not. You may be, but I'm not.
Well, I'm looking at the roster now. You got a couple of Atlanta guys going to be out there. That's a tour that I run. You got a couple of DC guys. I used to run that tour. Let's see here.
I thought some guys from Louisiana coming out here.
Yeah, there's a couple from Louisiana. Yeah, so it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. So, and actually, there's a DC guy who's also in the B flight. His name is James Briggs. He's a friend of mine. He was in the Coast Guard. And,
was it?
And so I met him at a golf show. This is 2010, 2011. It was a long time ago. His wife came up and said, "You should join this league. You're no good at golf. You think you're so good, you won't do anything." And she paid for his membership. And it's one of those, be careful what you wish for. And now they plan all their vacations around the tour. Every single one of them. Yeah.
I'm retired. My wife's retired. So I just kind of like sneak out the back door and go to the golf course.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Bartel, thank you so much for your service. I really appreciate it. Thanks for spending some time with us. And hopefully we'll see you. You're going to be coming out to Hilton Head this year.
Yes. I'm going to drive. Yes.
You're going to drive to Hilton Head?
Yep. I drove last year. A wonderful drive.
How many hours was that?
It took me 3 days.
I mean,
Well,
okay,
hey.
so Gabe, the Arizona director, drives from Arizona to Hilton Head every year. He hates to fly. And I told him 1 year you're gonna have to pick me up in El Paso because you got to go through I-10, and I'll finish the drive with you, and I'll fly back home because that's too long of a drive for me.
It
But-
is a wonderful drive.
Put it this way: you're 3 days driving. One of that day is going to be straight through Texas.
Well, I go across the Panhandle across 40.
Okay. That makes more sense.
I made some stops along the way. I stopped at Elvis's birthplace, in Mississippi, So I kind of made a vacation going out the other head.
That's crazy.
Went down to Savannah, Georgia.
I mean, I drove from El Paso to Anaheim to take my family to Disneyland, and I told myself I'd never do that again. And we still had to stop in Phoenix for a day.
Chris, you're killing me, buddy. You're killing me.
Hey, if I can fly, I'd rather fly. You have to understand, Tim. Tim, if I want to go have a good time in Texas, it takes 12 hours just to get there.
Yeah, I understand that. And at this stage, for what I do, I would rather fly too. But I've driven across the country. And again, if you take your time and you stop and you see some of the things and do some things, it really is a fun, decent drive. If you've got to get in and you got to jet across, it sucks.
That's probably what it is. And I'll take your all's advice and we'll plan it a lot better, because that's usually what it is. We got to get there to do whatever, shake Mickey's hand or whatever. So maybe I need to take an extra couple days and stop at places.
That's what you should do. You really should.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
I was on sabbatical one year and my daughter was getting ready to go to college. So before we dropped her off at college, we drove from Pennsylvania to Phoenix, and we did it in 4 days. And we stopped at different places and did some sightseeing, tried to go to places that, from the diners, dives, and drives show, eat different places and see different things. And it was a lot of fun. Not just, obviously it was fun, spend time with my daughter, but seeing things that, wouldn't have normally seen if we hadn't done that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I traveled the world over, but I had never traveled in the United States because I've always flown in the United States. So I said, I'm going to drive.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, one year we went from, and I know this isn't far, Tim, so bear with me, but we flew into Charlotte. We played a couple golf courses all the way down the Hilton Head, and that was a fun drive. So I'll take my comment back. I know it's like a 4-hour drive, but
my wife and I were full-time RVers, and 1 year after national championship, we were trading our RV in at a place in Phoenix, and we did the round trip in an RV in 5 days.
From where?
From Hilton Head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was spent. I was exhausted.
After Hilton Head,
yeah.
I was telling someone, on my way back from Hilton Head, I did it in 2 days, and that was painful.
Yeah.
Which I should have taken 3, but I didn't get tired until I got to San Bernardino County. I didn't get tired until I got right here in California.
And there you're almost home, so you might as well just suck it up and power through it.
It was painful.
Well, Bartel, again, thank you so much for taking some time with us tonight, and thank you for your service, and can't wait to see you when you come out here to Hilton Head, bud.
Okay, Tim and Chris, it was a pleasure talking to you guys.
All right, take care.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice evening.
Tim, this is one of my favorite times of the year for our podcast, when we get to talk with members of our military, because sometimes they're not really talked about, but, living in a military town, you get to meet a lot of military people. They become family. Some of my closest friends are in the military. So having them on our podcast allows, the whole tour to get to know these people and who they really are.
Yeah. And hearing the stories and the things that they've done, it's really incredible. And Bartel didn't get into too much detail just because of, a lot of the classified nature. We kind of joked with him a little bit. We can't get into it. He'd have to kill us. But the things that they do and that they get to do, it really is incredible.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I'm pretty sure we have thousands of members that have been in the military that have stories that they can tell or that they can't, or, situations they've been in. So can't wait to hear most of them.
And some not safe for airways to begin with. It's could just be sitting around having a couple beverages talk.
Right. That's always a good time too.
Exactly.
So, we've been really into this contest that you and me started. We're already halfway through. I don't think people realize that. And, I'm going to brag a little bit that the 4 winners that we have are from my tour. So what's going on, Atlanta tour?
I don't know, man. I think I'm going to call BS on this one. Well, the first off, let's look at the shirts that were submitted.
There were some solid shirts. At one point we had the same design from across the country.
Yeah. And, I want to talk to your brother, about, he won, but you're claiming that you had the shirt first. So,
I think I had it first, but I think he ran to the register and made the purchase first. So that might be a help in his favor.
Well, we'll talk about it when we bring him on.
Yeah.
But,
So, I mean, go ahead.
I honestly, I was shocked that of the shirts that were entered, that the two that had our faces on it weren't just runaways. I mean, who
Right.
would not want to have a shirt with our face on it? Think about it.
Right. No, I completely agree. Maybe if it was one shirt, it might have been a runaway, but two, that's kind of tough. But let's bring in the person that beat those two shirts. Our March shirt winner, originally from the El Paso tour, but now trader to the Dallas tour. Just kidding, Dwayne, if you're listening. My brother, Christian Rocha. Christian, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, guys. Appreciate you having me on. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us. I know you were on a little vacation here, and you agreed to pop on for a few minutes, but so I really do appreciate it. I need to hear from you, whose shirt is it? Who had it first? Is it your shirt or your brother's shirt?
No, I mean, we were up at the regional last year in Big Cedar Lodge and went into that pro shop, saw the shirt, instantly grabbed it. And of course, my brother asked, "What do you have in there?" And I show him, and he's like, "Ooh, where is it?" So I'm going to take ownership on that one and say it was mine first.
All right.
You got to understand that for Paynes Valley, when you walk to that clubhouse and you see, as a Tiger fan like me and him are, when you see everything Tiger, you have to pick and choose what you want. And I was more eyeing a putter cover that had the Tiger stripes than anything, and trying to debate which one I wanted out of all of them. You can only have a Tiger design so many times, but it needs to be perfect. So being able to grab that shirt as well was a bonus.
I'm pretty sure I walked into that pro shop 3 or 4 or 5 times. Every morning we'd go to breakfast. I was back walking into that pro shop to see, would they have something different? Because he's not wrong. It has Tiger on it. It's going to be botched.
How much money did you spend?
Jesus. I mean, it's probably double what I paid on the golf. So, I mean, there's a good couple of $100 in there.
That's awesome. I mean, because that's again, it's kind of like going to Augusta when you go, you just make sure your credit card has been paid off, because you don't get there very often to get everything, and with the amount of money
right.
that's generated there, you got to get it and get it quick.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those that you charge it and then you look at it later. You don't really need to think about it. Unless it gets declined, then you got to look.
Or just let your wife pay the bill. Don't even worry about it.
Nope, I'm not gonna have that conversation. I mean, I'm already dreading what I'm going to find at American Dunes when we go in a couple of weeks, because that.
Oh yeah,
so that's gonna be fun.
Christian, are you joining us up at American Dunes?
I'll be up there. I'm excited for that. I think Billy's along too, so be a good little get together with the group.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a real good time.
Bring a shirt. I mean, you're entered in once. Congratulations on that win. Doesn't mean you can't win twice. I again, like I said earlier, we want more shirt entries, because this is free money we're giving away. Really,
exactly.
National championship entry fee paid for, and just makes the trip a whole lot sweeter.
It does. And again, if Chris, remember the caveat, if they buy us shirts, then I pay the winners skins fees too.
Oh, yep. So you might need to talk to somebody who's going up there, Christian, just in case. Just in case.
I don't.
So I don't know if anyone, for our listeners who haven't seen his shirt. Basically, it's Tiger reading his putt. I think that was that the Masters or the U.S. Open? I think it was the Masters.
That one was the Masters.
But if you just look at it, it looks intimidating. Definitely check it out on our Facebook page. It was a great shirt, and it was a close competition too.
It was. Christian, you were running away with him for a little bit, but then Shaggy from DC, he only beat him by like, I think it was like 15 or 20 votes.
Mm-hmm.
So it closed down really at the end. I think he probably did a push the last 2 days to get some of those straggle votes.
Oh yeah. No, I was joking with Jordan from the El Paso tour, because I was like, man, how are you going to go and put my brother's, face on there? And then next thing I know, there was another person from not even the same tour. I'm like, all right, we're good.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing of it is, I knew about Jordan's, but I did not know about Shaggy's from DC. I used to do the DC tour, and Shaggy and I are good friends. And so he shocked me with that one.
It was a smart play, but they both did it at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You can't be.
So, Shaggy, I know that you listen to this, and I know that you've told me you've got some other shirts that you're going to be submitting. So make sure that you do, because April is done, so we've got May, June, July, and August. So everybody out there, if you've got shirts, go ahead and submit them. Yeah. Now, Christian, Chris and I were talking just before we got on here. I know you submitted one for April, but we're having trouble finding the hashtag. Before we declare you the sole winner of April, we're going to do a little bit more research, because I'd hate to say you're the winner and then 3 days from now the other ones pop up. But as of now, it looks like you are the winner. But Chris, I'm not declaring that yet.
That's fine. I can say that's fair.
Yeah.
I just I just want to keep I just want to keep saying that it's nice to have 3, maybe 4 of my tour members in this bracket so far, and looks like Texas is going to represent very well in the Nationals, probably.
Yeah, I'll let you claim Christian. Even though he's your brother, I'll let you claim him. I mean, that's fair enough.
If Work didn't have to have him relocate, he would have been right there with me.
Yeah. So you're up in Dallas now. How's it going up in Dallas?
It's good. I mean, I've known the guys for years that are up there, Dwayne and the crew. Of course, I was playing as an El Paso member up there, so definitely a lot of travel for me. Not as much this year, but then now I got called up to Bentonville, Arkansas. So recently up there with David King at the Kansas tour. So I've been all over the place.
Yeah. Well. Number one, I know Dwayne does a hell of a job. I mean, he sells out every week, and David King, he's a fun guy to be around. And I mean, some of the stuff that I see that he's putting out on on Facebook and social media, it's got to just be a blast to be playing one of his tournaments.
Oh yeah, they made it feel just like home. So that's what I appreciate, especially with this tour. No matter where you go, you can have some fun with good group of guys.
Right.
But what I was going to touch on your point with the contest, like, I know people are listening because this is a funny story. I walk up there to Kansas tour and they're calling out my name for the cart, and it's like, Christian Rocha. Yeah, I am. Some guy comes running up to me. He's like, "Did you say Rocha?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, how are you? Like, I watch your podcast. I'm listening all the time. I'm like, "Oh, wrong brother."
I'm not that Rocha.
But it's funny. So it's good that people are listening, during these contests. It's all in fun, but just so everybody knows, there's Christian and Christopher.
Christopher is the one on the shirts. Just FYI. Talk to me when you get your face on the shirt.
Well, Chris, again, it could be saying something about us, in our faces too. I mean, nobody wants to see that. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's put it this way. I know nobody wants to see my face.
There. You could have kept it positive.
I just try and tell the truth, man. Well, Christian, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I'm so glad that you won. Yeah, you've got at least one entry into the final 8 for the bracket contest, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here. Actually, heck, we're about 29 days away.
Yeah, not too far. I'm excited. It's supposed to be beautiful golf and beautiful, friendships that will be made up there for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be good times, bud. Enjoy your vacation. Talk to you soon.
Fun. All right, appreciate it. Go on.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Tim, so like we mentioned, I can't believe we're already halfway through the shirt contest, which means that some of the tours are already halfway through their season, if you think about it.
Yeah, it goes by so fast. August is going to be here before you know it, which means September is when we do a bracket. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm not even really looking forward to national championship yet. I mean, I am, but my goal right now is let's see what the final 8 is going to be and get that bracket set.
Right. I mean, like I said in the interview with Christian, I've got a 50% chance of sending somebody to nationals paid for. That's nice. That's a nice feeling. And I'm we talked about this off air, but I'm throwing out the challenge to all of the other tours. Like, let's see some shirts. I know there's some great shirts out there. Reach out to us if you're having issues trying to get those posted or to your director, but let's get this competition going, because we had a great voting season in April for the April winner, and we want to see those close races for the next 4 months.
Yeah, I was really surprised with we had a good number of votes. Here's what I'm going to say. All right, you and I are, and now these are both in June, so tournaments we're going to are in June. But this is what I'm going to tell you. Okay, if somebody wears the shirt to one of the regionals that we're at, whether it's the Michigan one or the Louisiana one, and they win that month, they win June, I will reimburse you. I'll reimburse you skins money for both days.
Oh, wow.
So whatever it is, whatever the total is, now you have to get into everything. Right? So whatever the total is for the Michigan one, or whatever the total is for the Louisiana one, okay,
and you have to win that month,
and you win that month, I'll reimburse you your cash game money. How about that?
We're like the Oprah of the Golf Week podcast. We're just giving money away, giving free entries away, and if you're not taking advantage of it, it's not on us. Right. It's on you, because this is free money that, I mean, if I could participate in, I'd probably have won all 4, because I got some pretty nice shirts that I'm bringing up for both these events.
Well, see, you would have to go up against your brother for.
See, I got these shirts in the bag that he hasn't even seen. That Tiger would have ran away if he saw the shirts I have now.
Okay,
but I like the challenge, and like, we want to throw it out there. You can enter every month for the next 4 months. Whether you entered and you won, or you entered and you lost, you can still enter. And if you see it, maybe it's not you, but you see another competitor with a very nice shirt, go to them and ask them if they even know about the shirt contest, and get them on. Maybe they may thank you if they end up winning a free entry fee to nationals.
Exactly. I mean, that's what's this? What's the entry fee this year? $650.
It's something around there. Yeah, $650, I think.
So I mean, it's number one. It's a lot of money, and number two, you have a chance to be a national champion, and maybe win some cash game money on top of that.
Yeah, and I mean, look at it this way. It's $650, and that's more crab legs you could eat at the Crazy Crab or wherever you get your crab legs from, and have some very nice meals out there, and enjoy some great golf, or even around at Harbor Town. So you get to play nationals and then play Harbor Town that Monday. Come on now.
See,
let me enter, please. What are you going to talk to? Let me enter this competition.
You're bringing up food again, right?
I always bring up food.
Yeah, I know you always bring up food. And Heritage was a couple weeks ago, but I meant to tell you, the beach house really took care of us again. And I know that lodging information for National Championship is going to be coming out real soon. And I would suggest the beach house, because the Tiki Hut's going to be back. I was actually over there about 2 weeks ago. They're still doing some construction on it, but it's going to be really nice once it's finished. And again, the beach house really, really did a nice spread for us over at the Heritage. And they treat their customers that are staying there just like that. So you'll be staying at a quality place, relatively inexpensive for the island, close to everything. So make sure you jump on that.
I'd like to go and meet, everybody we've had on the podcast, kind of put a face to the name. But just the pictures that I saw of the beach house was nice. And, unfortunately you got rained out at the Heritage, but one day I'm going to join you out there. One day.
It's a great time. And generally it's great weather, but, right. Sunday afternoon didn't turn out too well.
Right. But it's golf, and that's why we play the sport, because you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. So everybody get your shirts in. Now we really need to talk about the real elephant in the room.
See,
so I heard that somebody broke a club in their last tournament and it wasn't breaking it from a golf shot. What happened?
So, disclaimer: I've always mentally broken a club. I've done rounds where I've turned the club upside down in the bag if I wanted to break it to see how far it would go. I've never broken a club. Okay. Now, I hit this shot into a green with my sand wedge. I mean, it wasn't a terrible shot. And I tapped it against the cart and it snapped in half. And yes, I know the listeners thinking, yeah, how hard was the tap? I swear, it was like, you know, when you tap your friend when they tell a joke, a funny joke, you tap them on the shoulder. Like, it was a tap, and that thing broke in half. And the shaft is still a full circle. You can't tell, like, I bent it over my knee or I slammed it into the ground. Maybe it's the hard sand here we have in El Paso that over time just whittled it down.
So where did it actually break?
Right in the middle of the shaft.
That's interesting.
And very interesting. So now I got to go find a new shaft because wedges were not in the game plan this year. They were in the game plan next year.
Okay.
And just need to find a shaft that'll get me through this year's sand traps. Apparently, Michigan's 1 billion sand traps they have on their course. And yeah. And then we'll visit new irons new wedges next year.
Well, maybe you should just go ahead and give Ken a call and just do them all at the same time.
Right? That's the other option as well. Give our sponsors a call. Just get it done. Bite the bullet. So, because, I mean, they are 3-year-old wedges. And from what my buddy was telling me that's a fitter here, that with the amount of golf I play, it should be like every year and a half. So maybe it is time. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
I'm just going to put this bug in your ear. You know, obviously I really don't play anymore, more because of time than anything else. But when I was playing a lot, I had 2 sets. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I had a set that I generally just left at the club that I belonged to. And when I went to tournaments, I took those. But then I had another set that for when I traveled, exact same set.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
That one would
as much as long, you know.
Right. That one would need to get approval from the boss here first.
Well, I mean, if we could talk offline about some strategies for that. If you want.
Yeah, so, we might have to. We'll save it for a nice bourbon in Michigan. We'll have that conversation.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation then. But yeah, it's May. It's Military Appreciation Month, and I'm so glad we got to talk to Bartel. I mean, he's got a ton of other stories, and you know we've got a bunch of other military members across the country, and I can't wait to talk to some of them and have some more over the course of this month.
Yeah, it would be great to have some more on this month. You know, if you're wanting to be somebody that's an avid listener and really wants to be on the podcast, definitely reach out to us. We can get you on. We like to spend 10, 15 minutes with you and just hear your stories from your time in the military, so we can not only thank you but also be able to give you that time to talk about it.
Yeah, or even if you're not a veteran or active duty military, but you've got a friend that is, and you want to suggest somebody, please, send their name. And actually, that reminds me of something. You remember when we were at National Championship last year, and you came to our party?
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not sure if I introduced you to Mike Miller from the Milwaukee tour.
I believe so. Yes, this name sounds familiar.
Okay, so he literally just retired like 3 or 4 days ago. So this is a shout out to Mike. I've known Mike for years. He's such a good guy, and hopefully maybe we can get him on. I'll see if he's interested in coming on for next episode. But he just retired from active duty after I think he served like 25 or 26 years as well.
Wow.
So Mike, thanks so much for your service. Congratulations on your retirement. It's
yes,
very much deserved.
Yes, congratulations. Those are the stories that I enjoy listening to. I know I was able to listen to some stories from my grandfather in his time, and some of my friends that serve. So I enjoy just being the ears for those stories.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
When we were talking to Bartel offline, and he was also telling us, how he does some adjunct work at USC, and it, on the one hand, it made me feel great that his students were really interested in listening to his military stories.
Yeah.
He said that he spends more time in the introduction piece of what he's teaching, talking about his military career and his stories and those types of things. It didn't necessarily get to the things that he was supposed to be teaching, but that tells that makes me feel really good that people really do care and are interested in that. And so that's a good shout out to him and his students for that. But at some point, you're there at class to learn something about
Whatever he's teaching.
Putting rockets into space.
Right. More.
You may
his
want to
military background was more interesting than that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, again, if you want to share your stories or if you have any questions or other comments, please feel free to reach out. My email is timnatc@amateurgolftour.net, and Chris,
El Paso at amateurgolftour.net.
So please reach out. And one other thing before we go, again, mentioned that Gina had taken a picture of the bread pudding. Obviously, I can't get that off my mind.
Right.
Gina, I know you're listening. If you would like to send me pictures weekly about Cajun food, I would love it. I mean, I would. I love Cajun food. So if any picture you want to send me about Cajun food, that'd be great.
That's funny. We'll use this as a test to see if she even is listening. And if we don't receive pictures, we can give her a hard time when we go.
Oh, I already know Gina. I know Gina's listening. I know that, and I can see her laughing and going to tell Trey, you should hear what these guys just said.
Right.
So
I'm excited. I'm excited for both trips, and
yeah, me too.
Dude, before you know it, we have one more episode in between, and then we're there live. So
yeah, we're there.
Get ready, because I'm ready. I just need to find a new wedge.
It's going to be awesome. Hey, you know what you could do? Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. Get up with Ken, fly out 2 or 3 days, get fit. It'll be worth it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be there that Thursday. I'll be there Thursday to Monday, so could be a possibility. I could move up one more day.
See,
we'll talk about.
I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help.
I understand. We'll talk about this off air.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question before we go. Your wife does listen to this, right?
She says she does.
All right. So you're going to have to do some damage control for me, because I don't want her hating me. Before I even meet her.
Then I might need a whole full set of wedges and irons, because she might break them all.
Oh boy! All right, my friends, what do you got coming up between now and next episodes?
I've got a 2-day major in the mountains. We call it Beat the Heat, and it's usually around 70 degrees, nice weather, at one of the hardest courses I've ever played, called Rainmakers Golf Club. We call it the Painmakers. So just to give you all a picture, in case anybody ever wants to come down and play this event, we play it every year in May. The first hole's a par 5, okay? But the green at the very end goes dogleg right, and you can cut the corner, but if you're short or you're right, you're in a canyon. So you're not getting that ball back. And the fairway dips towards the canyon. So it's you have to place it perfect. Second hole, par 5, straight ahead, bunkers in the middle of the fairway. And then the third hole is a par 3 with a 200 to 300 foot drop from the tee box. And that's how you start the course. There's one hole, and I'm not kidding you, where you have a canyon start on your left side on the tee box. It cuts through the fairway and then it goes all the way down the right side past the green. And these canyons, you can't walk in. Like, you can look and see your ball, but you're not getting it back.
You're not going down there.
Yeah. So that's why we call it Painmaker. And the course we playing before, it's their muni course, fairly simple, straight holes. So we're going to see a bunch of low scores there, and then it's going to humble you on Sunday.
How do you generally do with your putting while you're there?
Honestly, I do better because the greens, I have to read them. I think the easier greens I struggle with because I read them too much. And with the greens where a bunch of undulation, I tend to putt better because I get more creative with it.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. I want to stay under 30 putts that second round. I think I can pull it off there. I'm due for a win this year. I feel it. I just need to happen now and not later on in the season. But I'd feel way better to win this event and then go into these two regionals, with a little chip on my shoulder. That'd be nice.
Well, stop smashing your club up. It's a golf cart.
Tap, not smash, tap.
Oh, my fault. Tap. Stop tapping your clubs.
Oh, I learned my lesson.
All right. Truth be told, one time I hit the tire. I was upset and I hit the tire.
Uh-huh.
Right? And it broke the shaft. It was more than a tap, but it was. You know what I mean.
Right.
You think it's just going to bounce off of that, right? I mean, it's not like I wailed on it, but it's like,
Yeah, same concept, but a little bit softer and on the roof of the cart, and it just.
Don't do that again.
I will.
All right, my friend. Will you enjoy yourself? Good luck, and we'll talk to you here in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. Be safe out there.
All right. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Chris, we didn't do it again.
What didn't we do?
We didn't say how to join the tour.
That's right. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.